Hey guys, and welcome back. So I thought I'd do a video, as I said in the last one, on why I didn't record any of the pulling of the gearbox or anything like that. So since we got the car, we wondered why it was parked up after we found it ran. So we thought rust could have been a factor, but it hadn't been registered in 18 years, and I don't think it'd get that rusty that quickly. And why it wasn't sold or something along those lines, why it was just parked up and left in original condition. So a couple of people I know saw this car before the windows were smashed in and everything like that, and the weather had got inside it, and it was an immaculate car. He said there was patches of rust around it. Certain pieces were about saying like these doors had rust in the top of them. Nothing like that though. The roof, everything was fine. And it was an immaculately clean car. It was factory pretty much, minus it had been sitting for a year or two by the time they found it. So we couldn't work out what the issue was, why this car was parked up, being it was factory turbo, Nissan, petrol, manual being another one. Like, even if you go back 5 years, these motors and gearboxes were worth a lot of money. Like, nowadays I've seen a couple of Z18s in the last, I think I've seen two in New Zealand in the last couple months go up for sale, and they sold for over $1,000. Like, there's one on eBay at the moment that's bidding at $3,500 out of Japan. So they're a sought after motor, they're a sought after gearbox. The motor itself is immaculately clean. So if I just move these parts onto here and all these little bolts from the cover. It's the problem with having so many motors. Still got the 4.1 sitting there. Oops, I'll pick that up soon. So, downpipe. Like, the top of the motor, considering it had been parked up, is clean. Like, there's no... We thought we might find some damage or something along those lines. The clutch and flywheel are like brand new. The clutch had been skimmed. The flywheel had been skimmed. The clutch still had a sticker on it, like the little barcode sticker, which to me says that the clutch was replaced recently. The bell housing bolts had obviously been done. The oil was brand new in the gearbox. It wasn't cloudy. Didn't look like it had been used a lot. So we were kind of curious about why this car had been parked up. It obviously had work done to it. The exhaust had been done. And there's a whole heap of other things like the hanger bearing, the bearing in the gearbox, the release bearing's brand new. And then when we pulled the turbo off, we found the issue. So we have here is the seal, as I like to call, and it's stuffed. So you can see the cracks and just the heat that is soaked into this. The actuator's fine. We'll start with... So this plate as well, this seal around here, I'll try to focus the camera, is all cracked. So that seal was gone. Then we come over here. So we have, this was a gasket that went, well, I don't know if you call them a gasket or a bearing or what you actually would call them. But pretty much, how'd this one go? Went like that. It pretty much goes around this piece here. There's a couple bits missing. But to give you an idea, it went around there. And it's 3-piece. So that shows that this turbo had a lot of heat and died. Then we pulled, that's the oil drain and other bits and pieces. We pulled the wheels out. And yeah, this sort of explains why. So that was done. I don't know where the other one's here. The exhaust wheel, I think, yeah, one or the other. This one's the exact same, so it's stuffed. So the theory we came to, because when we pulled the manifold and the turbo off, we found that the oil lines have been, as you can see here, have been capped. So we were thinking, what's the go with that? We grabbed the shaft on the turbo, it wriggled around, so we're like, oh yep, turbo's blown. But the more and more we actually thought about it, we reckon this could have been the issue that they had, why it was parked up, that they blew the turbo up. Because of the way these motors were designed, you can't replace the turbo in the car. The motor's got to come out, or it's really hard to. So there was a whole lot of things there, and we reckon that was the issue, is that the turbo blew up. They blocked this return off, and they ran it as a non-turbo with the turbo still there. And then eventually it was parked up because it wouldn't run right. And we had the issue when we got it that it wouldn't run properly or cleanly. And so we're thinking that's the issue. There were a few other things that we found, certain like spark plug leads with stuffed bits and pieces that were allowing it to drop a cylinder, and just things along those lines. There was another couple of things we found, that the dizzy was brand new and had been replaced, so the whole entire dizzy assembly still had stickers on it. The trigger rotor inside the dizzy is brand new, still has barcode. Some of the lines are brand new. The spark plugs are brand new. Like, we pulled 2 of them out and they are immaculately brand new. So, as a guess from what we're looking at, would say this car had a lot of work done to it. And then the turbo blew. The guy who owned it didn't have the money to fix it, or just was over the car, which is quite a common thing to happen. You blow the car blows up. You just, after spending hundreds of dollars on it, you can't be bothered putting more money into it. You just park it up, and over the years it gets neglected. And he moved on, and yeah, vice versa, it ends up here. So there are our theories at the moment on why this car was parked up and what its history is. I tried to track down the original owner. So a little bit of if you're not in New Zealand, I'll give you a quick rundown of how things work if you find a car like this in forestry. So first things first, we got told about the car. So the guy I got the red one off, who's a good mate, got told about this car by one of our friends. So it was like, sweet, well, I need a motor and gearbox for the red one, which was perfectly fine. So, sorry, just lighting the smoke. He went up, had a look at it. Yep, sweet. Got number plate numbers. Went to the police station. The police looked into it. Because it had been abandoned for 5 years, you're legally allowed to take it. So the way that works is, if you have direct drive access into the vehicle, you can take it away. Because the vehicle has been abandoned, so after, I think it's 3 years, the vehicle becomes classed as abandoned, which means that you can apply to take it. So you get salvage papers from the police station and you go get it. Issue with this one was that there was a tree in the road, and a part of the agreement that was had with the police was that we weren't allowed to use power tools to remove the vehicle. So we initially thought we would strip this vehicle in there, take the motor and gearbox out and the bits we wanted, and yeah, be done with it. But when I did the deal and got the other 910, the red one, I took my father up, who has been helping me over the years with different things, recovering vehicles and all that kind of crap. He used to be a full driver, so he had a look at it and said that you'll be easier and better off if you take the whole car, because there'll be things that you'll need in the future. So, which ironically has ended up not me needing, but other people. So we went, sweet, well, as a forestry, we'll find who owns it. So I rang the forestry who owned opposite it. They didn't own that block. So we went back up and we searched around the neighbours. We couldn't find it and find who owned it. Then one person said that so-and-so owned it. I won't say names simply because it's private property and there are other cars in there. So that was all well and good. We went round, we explained the situation, that we got the papers from the police to remove the vehicle, and that we would like to have his permission to remove it if he does not want it. So he pretty much turned around and said, you can take the whole fucking thing, you can take any vehicle in there that you want, and cut the tree up, take the firewood if you want it. So that's how we ended up with this 910. It took a bit of work, as you guys might have seen on Instagram. There was a funny video put up by R31 Build of us pulling this out of the forestry. Yeah, so if you guys do know of vehicles that are parked up in the forestry and you would like to take them but are unsure about how to do it, simply, if it has plates, take a photo of the plates to the police. If it doesn't have plates, take a lot of photos of the vehicle and take to the police, because in a lot of cases that I've heard of from mates who have done similar things to this, they've taken photos to the police, and the police have actually found that vehicle was stolen using the chassis tags. So just cover your own ass. So as soon as I got this, I had the police paperwork to remove the vehicle. I have the a signed agreement by the landowner transferring the ownership to me. I've changed the ownership in the New Zealand system to me, in the registration system to me, so that I own this vehicle legally. If the old owner does come back and say that he wants the vehicle back, he can't do it. So simply because I've done all the proper pathways to get this vehicle, the old owner is void, and he cannot touch it. The police couldn't even track down who owned it, neither could NZTA. So yeah, it's one of those things. The fact the plate's alive, that's a completely different story, and you can imagine what's happening here. Dereg plates, live plates. Yep, you can get the picture that's coming on here. But yeah, so I thought I'd give you a quick rundown of what's happening, and sort of how, if you are interested in doing a vehicle build like this, well, finding a car like this and stripping it out completely, how to go about it, because I've seen a lot of people do this and get in the shit about it, because it is classed, if you don't have permission, it is classed as trespassing. If you don't have the right paperwork, and it can be classed as theft as well, because as soon as the vehicle is left on the property for, even if it's forestry, it actually becomes property of that forestry company. So you just have to be careful with how you do things and make sure you take the right pathways to do it, because the fines are massive. Trespassing on private property, theft, everything else, and especially if you've got to access the vehicle and the vehicle is locked, so most people would break a lock off, bust a lock, whatever. It's then classed as break and entering as well. There's a whole lot of things you can get done for, and I just hate seeing people getting done for it. So a bit of a heads up to anyone. And if people do want parts off this car, so there will be bits that I'm keeping. I have all the chrome trim still that I do, just they're no use to me. The hardtop one is completely different, and the chrome and everything else, so the chrome is no use to me. If you want parts, you're located in New Zealand, flick me a message. If you're located overseas and the parts are small enough, I can ship them. Or if you're after certain pieces that are larger, like quarter cuts, are still fine. If you're after a sunroof, like, let me know. I can price up shipping it, because I do know these cars are getting harder to find. I have shipped stuff, larger items before, and had no issues. But yeah, just let me know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you next time. Laters.